So yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm cutting up some plastic for underneath the concrete. Basically, I'm doing 1.45 meter sections, at least for the walkways, and it's going to go below the concrete, above the gravel, and then kind of wrap up and around the forms. I'm hoping it makes the forms easier to take off, because we're reusing them again in the house. If I can avoid getting them all full of concrete, I'd rather do that. So yeah, let's get going on that. It doesn't have to be totally perfect. It's one of those things where, oh, where did I put my ruler, my marker? Just a sec. Is it kind of straight? Sure. It's good. And then I just cut her. A lot of times you can just slide it along. These scissors are reasonably sharp. These plastic, because it's so cheap, I just thought, why not, you know? It's supposed to prevent it from getting damp and stops it from getting moisture in it, in the concrete, and why not? That just leaves me with a big long piece at the end of it. So that's what I'm doing. While getting ready for the concrete, basically what I had to do was straighten out the forms because they were basically warped like bananas in a lot of places. So I've had to pull the spikes up, adjust them, replace them with straighter pieces of wood, and then put them back in place. I've also measured out every 2 meters so that I know where I'm going to put the spacers or where the cracks are going to go. One of the things I've had to do is pre-drill the holes in the ground before I drive the spikes in, which is pretty crazy, but the ground is just so hard, so you don't really have a choice. Just doing a little bit of overlap. I don't know, maybe it's a bit too much, but as I said, this stuff's pretty cheap, so. And what I'm looking to do down here is I'm looking to have things 10 centimeters away from the end and the sides. Not quite. It's about 10. It's 12 and 11. Close enough. Go a little further down here. Just a titch. What I've done is I've kind of not gone, normally it says minimum 10 centimeters. So I've done a little extra just because it made me have to use less rebar. We want the higher one, I think. Or we want the lower one. Not positive yet. I think I'm going to do the higher one. And then you put these guys on. And then I'll start staggering them along. And then they keep it at the right height. And then about every half meter you do one, which is about 16 inches. That would be every 2. So every 2 things I've got to put one. So let's do this.
one. And so I got a 2 over there. So that means there's 2 and then 4. That was a bit stupid to do that. Here we go. Whoops, is that even going to be enough? These are the things I'm trying to figure out. And then 2 more from this. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to do them this way. And I'm putting 2 down this end just to keep it stable. Now let's see. How these guys fit. It's just slightly below. And that's slightly below, so that's looking good. I need to put them every 2 meters, so one of them is about here, which is why I marked them. Basically, it's a rebar tire, I guess. Basically, there's a roll of these little twist ties that are somewhat heavy metal. They're not really that great. And then there's this thing. And basically what you do is you put the 2 loops, you wrap it around with your fingers, and then put 2 loops and you pull on it. And then you put the 2 loops through, and then you pull on it, and it twists it around. So let's see how that works. I've never used one before. So I think all you should have to do is fairly close to the edge or far from the edge. They look okay. Looks good. And I'm just tying these 2 together. Maybe, I don't know. I'll try 4 spots for now. I don't know how tight it really needs to be. I'm going to do this. So you do this thing, and then you should be able to put them through the same hoop or hook. There's 2 little hoops here. Go through, and then when you pull on it, it should squeeze them together, which it actually has. Oh, nice. Like something worked. All right, cool. Yeah, they just look like that. Put it like this. Stick them through the hole. I'm going to move this to a different spot, I think. Put it here. Yep. Seems tight. Like that. Look at the loops. Oops. Yeah, I think that's all right. Broke, but still twisted. I think I would have rather a little bit stronger ones, but it's okay. Once again, this is just a patio. I think that's quite solidly together, actually. Cool. Let's see how this guy sits. It's well below on this side, and it's below on this side, so that's all I care about, as long as it's not above the surface. And I'll have a little bit of play that I can just kind of it gets into the right spot. So that's good. I put a couple more chairs in, which are what those are called. Yeah. It's very nerve-wracking. I've never done this before.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty much the process, repeated over and over again, of getting the form straightened, the plastic down and stapled, the rebar tied together and lifted on the stands, which are the chairs or whatever you want to call them. It also includes putting across the spacers, which will designate where you want the cracks to be. But hopefully it leads to a good pour in the future and makes it easier. Fingers crossed. Thanks for watching. If you can, like and subscribe.